Mario,
Hello.
¿qué tal?
Muy bien.
Okay, okay. Smokies. Okay, where are we holding?
28.
Oh, wow, I'm a few pages behind. I'm one page behind. I got 27. Oh, maybe I got to 28. Hi, Ernie.
Kenny.
Hello.
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 Hey, Harold.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Just
Yeah, I did it. We're good.
some housekeeping. Next Sunday night, we are having a siyum of all the Masechtos. The host of the siyum is the Feinblum family because it's the yahrzeit of the first yahrzeit of Rabbi Bronner. It's being hosted by them at Pat's for all of us, for us and our wives. So you and your wife are invited. They want to do it at 5 o'clock so they can daven mincha. We have a special area at Pat's. So I just need we have to just, the Feinblums want everyone to RSVP that everyone's coming.
Who do we RSVP to?
Well, let's RSVP tonight. I'm sure Walter will be on
Okay.
the phone shortly.
Okay.
I want each person to take one or two masechtas,
Oh,
if you want, because we did that before.
Yeah, I'll take Megillah.
Oh, well, the problem, Megillah.
It's finished Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah, but Walter wants to do that one because he's going to say the Kaddish for Rabbi Bronner.
Oh, okay.
Well, why don't you do Tainus?
Sure, I'll do
Well,
Tainus.
take a look. You might.
Yeah.
We're talking
Whoever
about
you'll pick
since-
one, not a
We're talking
problem.
about since brachas, Shabbos, Erevin. We want to be Messiah all of those.
Wow. Okay.
So I'll be Messiah.
Including brachas or not including brachas?
We were not Messiah in brachas.
Okay.
I left every last line free. We didn't finish each line. So we'll just finish every line. We won't make a hadron for each masechta, but we'll finish each masechta. And then when they finish Megillah, we'll say one hadron for all of them. Elazar?
Yeah.
So again, you and your wife are invited next Sunday night at 5 o'clock to Pat's for the siyum of all the masechtas since Masechta Brachas.
Okay, thank you.
But I want you to choose one of the masechtos to finish.
Okay.
And Kenny, you'll tell me one. And Mario, if you want, I'm sure you can do one as well. And then I'll do the other ones that are left. Okay. Kaf Ches. So
We're supposed to say Dvar Torah or just say the line and finish? What do you want?
you can say the line and you can say Dvar Torah.
Okay,
You can say Dvar Torah as long as it's not too long.
right.
Say something about the line of the Masechta, absolutely. So Walter, it looks like everybody has RSVP, they and their wives. The 6
Okay.
people that are on the group I told them next 5 o'clock. I said they're gonna, Walter, you be Messiah Megillah and also choose another Masechta. Because
Okay.
we're doing brachas, and then each one will do a line and say something about it, and then you'll do the final one.
Okay, but it's fine. Just what was that Facebook thing, Mario? I got mixed up. What is that? What did you send out with Facebook?
oh, that's it's a military general, English general speaking
Oh.
very nicely about the.
Oh, I thought that was about the
Yes.
Daf Yomi or something like that. That's why I was.
No.
Okay, so we're on.
Okay, Ernie, I just
Yeah.
think that, if we want to daven mincha, right?
Yes.
So that I think we should start at 4:45 because I don't know what time is mincha. Ken, you know that.
Okay, will they let us in at 4:45? They'll let us in. There.
I'll organize it. I'll try to organize
What?
it. Sure.
Okay, 4:45.
Mincha will be even later then. It's already 10 to 5 now.
Oh, so okay, but so we want to start. So if we quarter to 5, people will be there 10 to 5.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, I'll organize it. If something changes, I'll let you know. Shkoyach. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for organizing.
Very nice.
So we're on the Chav Zayin Amud Beis on the bottom. Shalu Tamidos Rav Freida B'Meir Rachta Yomim. What was your schus to live long? Amar Lem Yamei Lo Kadamni Odom Lebeis HaMedrash. I was the first one in the yeshiva every morning. Nobody came earlier. Lo Beirachti Lifnei Kohen. I never made a bracha before Kohen. I gave cover to the Kohen that he was first. Lo Achalti Mebehema Shlo Hurmu Matnoi Seha. We know that Matnos Kahuna, the Zroa, the foreleg, the Lachayayim, the cheeks, and the Keva, the pastrami, the navel belly. These were the matonas that had to be given from every animal to a kohen. And he didn't eat from an animal that the matnos weren't given. It's prohibited to eat from an animal that the matnos haven't been given. It's like eating tevel, produce that trumas and meisos haven't been given. However, less hilchas kavasi, the halacha is not like him, the Rambam says. Mutter lechol mibeima shloihurma mimena matnos kuna. It doesn't create tevel. Otherwise, today we'd have a big problem eating meat. I never made a bracha before kohen. Is that a good thing that you will let the kohen make the bracha first? Also, it already says it's not just a good habit. It says that a Talmid Chacham should not make a bracha before Kohen Gadol, even if he's not an Aretz. Otherwise, the Talmid Chacham is Chayv Mitzvah. Never come Sanai Avu Mavis Atikram Mitzayim Masniyai. So Ki Kamer Iu B'Shavin. What he meant, let's say they were equal. The Kohen was a Talmid Chacham and he's a Talmid Chacham. Even though by right, we're afraid it might have a right to go in front of him because he was a Gadol Bator more than the Kohen, but because of the covered Kohen, he made sure the Kohen went first.
By the way, that's why in benching you say Beshut HaKohen and then Harav, usually.
Right? That's why you say B'Shus HaKohen and then the Rabbanim afterwards. Because the Kohen goes before, even a Talmid Chacham. Shalu Tamidas Rav Nechoy ben Akana, B'mei Arachta Yomim. They asked him what was his secret. I wasn't joyous. Like my covet increased because my friend was embarrassed by something. No, I never, went up in the world because I saw my friend go down in the world. I never went to sleep angry with my friend. That means I would always make sure if we had a fight, I would make up before I went to sleep. That means I didn't want anybody to have. I didn't want to have tightness with anybody, and that's why some people are moichel everybody before they go to sleep. I'm not upset with anybody. Vatran b'mamoini hayisi. You know what? I wasn't, not just, it's not a matter of stingy. If I paid an extra few pennies for something, I was okay with that. Lonis kapari b'klon chaver ki ad Ravuna dari Maria Kasfe. Ravuna was carrying somebody on his shoulders. No, he was carrying like a rake or some kind of implement. Rav Chana wanted to take it away from him to do it. Armalei, if you normally carried your own instruments, fine. Dari v'ilo is I'm not going to benefit by your embarrassment. I'll carry my own rake. Look, because otherwise lo nichli. I'm not going to be happy with kloin chaverai. But also mitasi kila chaver. I didn't go to sleep without making sure that I resolved any dispute I had with my friend. When he went to sleep, Omar, he would say, you know what? I forgive everyone that gave me trouble. I was I wasn't makpid over a few pennies. Domer Mar, EU, Vachim B'Mamoinav, EU, Job, wasn't careful with his money. He would, if he left a few extra pennies for the storekeeper, it didn't bother him. Shal Rabbi Kiva's Rabbi Nechunya Gadol Amar Lo B'Mei Rachta Yami. Rabbi Kiva asked Rabbi Nechunya, how did you live long? Also, Gavzev Kamachli, his students were upset. But Nechunya is an old man. You're asking why? It's not COVID to ask him such a thing. Like Rabbi Akiva, he was not Rabbi Akiva yet. Like he's upset. He's wondering why is he so old. Salak Yosef Aresha Didikla. So Rabbi Rabbi Akiva went to sit on top of a palm tree. Omer lay, Rebbe, im nemar keves lama nemar echad. Yeah, so Rabbi Akiva asked Rav Nechunya, it says keves echad. Well, keves means one. Why do you have to say echad? So Rav Nechunya recognized from the question that he's a Talmid Chacham. Lutzim Rabbananu. Shavku, leave him alone, don't shepherd him. I guess they chased him up the tree, they let him off the tree. And Rav Nechunya explained, echad meyuchad shebedro. You can't just take any sheep. You got to take the nicest sheep for the Korban Hatami. And then he decided to answer Rabbi Akiva's questions about why he was Zoicha Tarichas Yamim. He avoided taking gifts. I didn't stand on principle. People made comments, or I didn't get angry. I also was not so makbid over a few pennies. And the Gemara explains, Loki bati matonis ki ad Rabbi Eliezer. Ki havu mishadru le matonis b'bein Yisrael havu shakil. When from the house of the Beis HaNasi, they would send gifts to Rabbi Eliezer, he wouldn't accept. Ki havu mizamne le. And when they invited him to the Beis HaNasi, lo havu hazu didn't go. What, they don't want me to live? Somebody who hates getting gifts will live long. So I'm trying to fulfill that. When they would send gifts to Reb Zera, lo avashakil, he wouldn't accept. However, when they invited him, he went, because Omar is here, I'm not there benefiting, I'm giving them covet for showing them up. So it's not like I'm benefiting. If somebody is not standing on principle, so in Shammai they'll also not stand. So if that person does something, they'll be mavater. Just like he's mavater to other people insult him, he doesn't get upset. So therefore it's the same thing. That's how Shammai will treat him. Who will Shamayim forgive sins? Somebody did damage to him, but he's miver. He doesn't stand on principle. What? You're wondering why I'm so old? Why are you upset about that? The principles of living a long life is Torah, and I need to know that. So he gave him the answer. I didn't look at the face of an evil person. You can't look at the face of an evil person. Reb Lazar ein of kehos. And if he looks at an Adam Rasha, his sight will go dim. Shenemar, vayiki zaken Yitzchak v'techen en amiros. Mishum distaka Esav Rasha. Yitzchak hung around with Esav. By staring at Esav, he became blind. For it to have a Hagar Malay, what? And that caused it. V'amar of Yitzchak, lo'olam alti kilas hedyot kalabenecha. You should not be unconcerned of even a hedyot, even a non-important person makes a klala against you. Shar Avimelech kila l'sara v'niskarim b'zara. Avimelech cursed Sarah, and it happened to her children. Shnemar, hinei ulach ksusei nayim. That your relationship with Avram is going to cause closure, altikraksus elikasiyas, a covering of the eyes, which means Yitzchak, it was the klal of Avimelech. So the Gemara says, Hava Hagar Malay, the klala set the stage, and staring in the face of Esav is what physically caused it. Rav Amar Mehacha, Se'es Pnei Rasha loy toiv, that don't look at the Pnei Rasha, it's not good. Bishas Ptirasa Amar lo Rebbe Barcheni. When Rabbi Shimon Korcha was passing away, Rebbe said, give me a bracha. Amar lo, Yiratzon shedagia lechatzi yamai. I give you a bracha that you should get to half of my years. Why not to all of my years? Because you're an Adam Gadol. If you remain an Adam Gadol for 120 years, your children won't amount to anything. This way, it'll give your children a chance to excel. Otherwise, they'll have to be shepherds. Avu bar ihi uminyamin bar ihi charam atesivli delistakli begoy. I don't think I've ever looked at a goy. Charam atesivli lo avdi shutvis bari goy. I don't think that I've ever been in a partnership with a goy. Shalu Talmidas Reb Zera, B'mei Rachta Yomi. They asked Reb Zera, I was very careful in my home. I wasn't a dictator or a tyrant. If they didn't do what I wanted, I was not makbid. I didn't take big steps in front of somebody who was gadol mimeni. I didn't think about Torah when I was in dirty places. I didn't walk Arba Amis without Torah and Tefillin. I didn't sleep in the base of Medrash, not a permanent sleep, not a nap. I wasn't happy with the downfall of my friend. I didn't call my friend by his nickname. That means it's not the first chachinosoy is like an ugly nickname. The other one is a name that he knows, but even so, even if it's not Gnai, I still call him by his formal name. Mishnah. A ruined-based knesses, we don't make a hesped there. You can't stretch out and tighten ropes there. Any kind of malacha you can't do there. Vein portion of soicha mitzudos, you don't put traps there. Vein shoichin al gago pears, we don't dry fruits on the roof of a ruined-based knesses. Vein oisin kapandri, you don't make a shortcut through a base knesses, even if it's ruined. Shenamar vashimoisis midashechem. Kedusha sonaf kashein shamim. They have kedusha even though they're destroyed. Alubo asavim. If grass grew in the ruin, lo yitla, you shouldn't chop it off. Because when you look at a shul that's got grass growing it, then you'll have agmas nefesh. The people who see it, they'll remember when it was built. So it's a way that they'll daven for it. Maybe it'll be machzir to its original glory. You can't have like a party in the shul, which will lead to lightheadedness. You can't drink there. You can't eat there. You can't drink things. You don't decorate it. You can't take a spatzir there. You can't run into a shul because it's hot or it's cold. You don't do a hesped of a private individual there. You can read Torah there. You could learn Mishnah. If it's a hesped of a public person who was involved in the tzibor there, like a Talmid Chacham who died, where there's a din that you have to be Mesasir to be Maspidim, Beis HaKnesses is Roy for that, because it's a big place. All of what we just said is when the shul is functioning. When they're in ruin, you don't do any of those things there. You let grass grow there. And you don't cut away the grass because you want people to be sad. Or it says, who brought up grass here? Or it says, there's words missing. And what do you do with the shul? A shul has to be kept clean. That's when the shul is active. When it's destroyed, you don't have to sweep. If the grass grows, it grows. And if in order to, people should be sad. The base knesios in Bavel were made al tnai. You still didn't noeg parties there. What's kalos rosh here? Calculations. A shul where somebody does calculations, you can have a mace there. Lo sagi lavachi. What do you mean? We wouldn't do that in any case. There's no choiv to be made in a mace. And l'sov shialinu bo mace mitzvah. It's a punishment that if you are not treating the shul properly and you're doing cheshbonis there, in the end there'll be a mace mitzvah there. You don't decorate a shul. That Talmidei Chachamim and their Talmidim can be mitayel there. They can go in for heat and cold. Beis HaKnesses is the house of the Rabbanon. Ravina Ravada had shilas for Rava. Also Zilcha Dimitri. It started raining. They went into the shul. Amri. That which we went into shul, mitra. It's not to avoid the rain. We want to hear a halacha will clear our minds like northern wind. For Limud Torah, you can go into the Beit Knesset so that they can be dan b'menucha. So if you're not supposed to go into the shul for no reason, let's say you need to call somebody in the shul outside. So go into the shul and say halacha and then call him out. Or if he's a Tana, let him say a Mishnah. He knows how to lane, let him say a pasuk. Means you shouldn't just go in the shul. Go in the shul and say something. If he doesn't know how to do anything, say to a child, what is your pasuk that you learned today? You should sit in the chair for a little bit. You don't just run in and run out. You sit in the chair a little bit, and then you go out. You can do a eulogy for a Talmid Chacham. Like the hesped of Rav Sheshes. Rav Sheshes going to spend the koibei Rav Chizda. Rav Sheshes is like the hesped of Rav Chizda. Rav from Aspel Kalosim Beit Knishta. Rav from made a hesped for his daughter-in-law in the shul. It's because of COVID for me that they're going to come. Rav Zera Safti Lum Rabbanim Beit Knishta. Rav Zera was at Maspid a certain time in Chacham. Amr Imishum Yekar Didi, Imishum Yekar Didei. Whether it's because of my cover or the cover of the mace, also Kul Amma people will come. Reish Lakish Safti Lagutzum Rabbanim Deshkech Ba'ard Yisrael. Reish Lakish was Maspid a Talmid Chacham who did a lot of his learning in Eretz Yisrael. Davitani Hilchos Abesim V'Arba Shurasa. but he was in the yeshiva only in the 24th row, which means he wasn't such a big Talmid Chacham. Omar, still, Reish Lakish said, Vai Chasra Ad Yisrael Gavar Rabba. Wow, woe is Eretz Yisrael that it lost a great man. Ahuda v'tani elchos ha-sifra v'sifri v'tosefta, u'shchiv. It was somebody who learned halacha, sifra, sifri, he died. Also, Rav Nachman, lispidei mar. They told Rav Nachman you should be maspid him. Omar, hechi nispidei. How should we maspid him? Hayt sana de molei sifra de chaser. Woe is to the basket that is normally full of sforim that is empty. Even he wasn't that deep of a learner, but still, since he covered a lot of territory, he deserved that cover. You see the difference between the Talmid Chacham who came from Eretz Yisrael to the Talmid Chachamim of Babel. Somebody who uses the crown of Torah authority, it really doesn't belong to him, he passes away. Like using somebody who teaches Mishnah, Kitra Shul Torah. Person should use somebody that learned the 4 Sidrei Mishnah. Better to do that than somebody who teaches people Sidrei Mishnah. Reish Lakish was walking. Mata Urkama Demaya. They came to a river. Also Gavar Arkaveh Katfei. The person carried Reish Lakish on his shoulders across the river. Amar Le Kris. So Reish Lakish asked him, do you know how to lane? Amar Le Karina. Yes, I lane. Tanis, you know how to learn Mishnah? Yeah. Tanina Arba Sidrei Mishnah. I learned 4 Sidrei Mishnah. Amar Le Psatel Charba Turei. V'tanta Bar Lakish HaKatfech. You have 4 of these pillars and you're schlepping Reish Lakish on your shoulders? Shari Bar Lakish, you should dump me in the water. Amar Le Nichli Dashmin in the mar. No. I want to be Mishamish you. And I'm happy in the schus to do that. Yachi Gemor Mini HaMilsa. Fine, if you want, I'll teach you something. That the Jewish women were machmar on themselves. Shafila rose tipas dam kachardol, yosh v'solav shiva nikim. Even though we have Zion Yemei Nidus, followed by 11 days of Zivus. In the times of the Torah, even if a woman stopped bleeding for 6 days, if she stopped bleeding, on the 7th day she could go to the mikveh and have relations with her husband a day later. And during the 11 days Zivus, if she bled for 2 days, and then she kept the 3rd day clean and she went to the mikveh, she could have relations with her husband. But Bnos Yisrael accepted a chumrah that whatever blood they see, they have to count Zayin Nikim. They treat themselves like a Zava Gdola. And Tonan Ve'elio, Kol HaShoyna Halachos, Muftach Lo Shu Ben Olam Haba. Whoever learns halacha, he's promised to be Olam Haba. Shneimar, Halichos Olam Lo. Al Tikra Halichos Ela Halachos. So it's just a very interesting segue that Reish Lakish did. He taught him this halacha with this whole story of him carrying on the shoulders. Maybe we'll see the Marsha. Anyways, that brings us to 8 o'clock.
Okay.